Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Kiwi Bred. I'm Alisha Neilson and I look forward to your company over the next half hour. First up on the show this week is a visit to Hallmark Stud, where I caught up with Mark Baker about their newest acquisition, Singapore sensation Super Easy. Mark, Super Easy retired to stud this season. How did the purchase come about?
Well, it goes a long way back, Alisha, because we remember him really well as a yearling, and he was an absolute standout there, and admired his temperament all week with Tom and Shelley there in D Block, and naturally followed him through his life, through his career as a 2-year-old when he was so impressive here in New Zealand, and then went on and followed him up in Singapore as well. And all along we said to Michael Wallace, keep us in touch. True to his word, Michael got in touch when he retired, and it went from there. That's how it came about.
Given your interest in the horse in those early days, how much of a coup is it to have him here at Hallmark now?
Well, it's a huge coup because he's one of those, it's just not studmaster talk, he's one of those rare horses like his dad, Darcy Brahma, who has all 3 boxes ticked. He's a great type, as you saw today. He's got a very, very good page, and he was a top class racehorse, 12 in succession, multiple Group 1 winner.
Hallmark hasn't stood a stallion here for several years. What was it about Super Easy that made you wanted to launch back into that market?
Well, we had hundreds and hundreds of horses over the last few years come across our desk, and we'd watch this horse, as you know, all along, because he represented everything we were looking for in a stallion. As I said, all 3 boxes are ticked. We knew he was a great type. He had the page, and of course he had the race performance.
His was a deal brokered by bloodstock agent Michael Wallace. How's his syndication made up?
Well, the syndication, it's made up of several top stud farms throughout the country, top boutique breeders, some great people with boutique farms with really good broodmare bands, and also and a lot of really top investors in the industry with good mares, and also a lot of loyal on-farm clients. And ourselves, we took a good percentage of them as well.
And I guess too, Mark, with the horse being syndicated the way he is, it's giving him every opportunity.
That's right. That's what we're looking for in a stallion. With all those horses we were offered, we needed a horse we could syndicate, because in those leaner years, in the 3rd and 4th year, you're guaranteed that support. So with 40 shares, 2 noms per share, he guarantees them numbers every year, especially in those lean years. And as soon as, all along, he was always going to be a horse we knew we were going to be able to syndicate and get a great group of breeders and broodmare owners on board.
Super Easy had cult figure status in Singapore. They loved the horse. They came out in their thousands every time he raced. What were some of the highlights of his illustrious career?
Any horse that wins 12 in succession is top class, so you've got to mark that down. I mean, their 3-year-old Triple Crown up there, especially the Singapore Guineas, and I'd invite anyone to look at that online on our website. It was an incredible run. It was probably his best run for us, even though as a 3-year-old, not against the older horses. He was 3 back the fence, couldn't win. Came out twice with Marrera to get a split, couldn't get it. Came out a 3rd time, got bumped, and still got up to win. I think that was his that was his defining moment, I think, as a racehorse. Summed up his bravery and his courage, and of course, named being Horse of the Year, 3 Group 1s, 12 in succession.
He arrived late in the season, Mark. How's he settled in?
Yeah, fantastic. He really, his temperament has really shone through in this last 2 weeks since he got here. We all saw that as a racehorse. Michael Friedman was telling me yesterday just what an incredible temperament he had, and it's just gone from the racetrack to here. His feet haven't touched the ground in the last month. He won a Group 1 on the 30th of June, and then he had 2 weeks quarantine in Singapore, 2 weeks quarantine in Sydney, went out to another farm west of Sydney for a few days waiting for his flight. He arrived here, and 4:30 in the morning, and 6:30 a.m. he served his first mare, and he hasn't stopped since. And you'd think he'd been doing it a lifetime, so very fortunate like that. He's a real professional.
Mark, he's the first son of Darcy Brahma to stand at stud in New Zealand. What stands out in his pedigree? Well,
several things. Obviously, Darcy Brahma is a top class sire, and it's only a matter of time before he gets that top class horse in Australia, we're sure. That What we did love about his page too, Alisha, was out of the Gold Bros mare. We were huge fans of Gold Bros. A lot of people know we came very close to buying him. Westbury had a little bit more cash than us, and he went on to be a top sire and a top broodmare sire. So we love that part of it. It represents great physicality and great speed. And his mother, of course, Par 4, she's been an absolute gem. Not many mares leave through three group winners. And Tiger Tease, Al Lucas, and now, of course, Super Easy. So I think those are the things that really stand out in our mind.
What's the feedback you've had from breeders since you announced him?
Well, this is the beauty of Super Easy. He's done all the work himself. Everyone knows him. It was extremely positive. We literally could have syndicated him twice over, and the phone's been steady. It's not easy out there, but the bookings are coming, and at this stage he's on track to serve around 110, 120, which is fantastic first crop.
Very modestly priced at $7,500. How did you establish that fee?
Well, we're very aware as breeders ourselves, and that things are tough out there. We wanted to make them available, and which is make them available to all people in the market, which I think has come off given the support we're receiving. But I think he's accessible to everybody at 7.5.